can't help the things you were born with access to. What you can do is figure out how to use them to give platform to other people. And so, my great-grandfather was the writer in residence at Fisk. Arne Bontemps, he was a Harlem Renaissance poet. He was librarian at Fisk. Mm-hmm. I was raised knowing that you could make Black art a life. And so that's how I got here, was that I had the crazy luxury of knowing that I could. And then I was talking to Shannon about this before we sat down. I moved to Mississippi when I was 22 to teach public school for 2 years in the Delta in Sunflower County. And I realized that I really needed to make it my life. I needed that my thing that I could do is bear witness and tell people stories and see the unseen and articulate that and bring that into the world and figure out how to honor those narratives. So that's how I got here. Mostly I've had to cancel noise, and sort of actively ignore other people's reactions to my work, because I hadn't the faintest idea if they had, if some nice white boy from, Michigan is telling me that my poem doesn't make sense, I'm like, oh, never mind. And by never mind, I mean never you mind. Right. Not like me never mind writing, never you mind. Hey, I'm going to carry on with what I'm doing without regard for your concerns. I get it. So I've had this really interesting balance of, peer reactions being strong. And then on the other side, I have a really amazing mother and I write poems that tell literally everything. And my mom's like, this is really hard for me to read. And she has really strong reactions that way. And that's been complicated. And one of the hardest things in my adult life has been not sharing my art with my mother until I feel like it is, you asked done versus finished. Sometimes I just don't let her see it until I'm like, you can say what you want because nothing's changing. And that's the question of done versus finished. When you're finished, I'm done with this. Doesn't mean that it's all gone. Right. It just means I'm done eating. Right? So you can be done with the work, or you can revisit it. I'm done with this. I'm putting it in the box for leftovers. Finished means it's gone. It's over. Right? If a relationship is finished, it's over. If we're done here, that means the conversation's done for the night. Right? So it's an interesting balance of those two things, done versus finished. I think poems are never finished. Probably works of writing art are never finished. They're just done at different points. Yeah. It's they're well done, and then, or they're medium, and then they're well done, or whatever. But anyway, all of that to say, people's opinions matter, but mostly, I tell my students in workshop, I don't care about your feelings unless they are articulated well and artfully. A human to human I do, but we're not, and I'm not a therapist, we're in school, I'm a professor. And so if you have articulated your feelings badly, I don't care about them. If you're like, well, this is how I felt in that moment, you didn't make me feel that. You made me feel like you wrote a bad self-indulgent poem. So you need to say your feelings in a way that makes me feel your feelings. Okay. Because this is art. This is artwork. Yeah. I asked myself the same thing I asked myself when Teach for America asked me where I wanted to do Teach for America. They said, you can pick a region. And I thought, all my friends are moving to New York or Los Angeles, or San Francisco. So I should either pick LA or Oakland or Manhattan or Harlem, right? And then I thought, put your money where your mouth is, Caroline. If you're actually doing this to actually help people, then click that box that says, send me to your highest need region. And I knew that if I did that, they were either going to send me to Mississippi or an Indian reservation in South Dakota. And probably Mississippi, because they really struggled to get black core members to go to Mississippi, because we don't want to go back.
It's Mississippi.
But I said, all right, put your money where your mouth is. And for me, the way that writing stays fresh and relevant is that I did this because, like I said, I came to bear witness. Who am I to say there are not more things to witness, more people's stories to tell, more people who feel othered, or marginalized, to give voice to. There are always people to witness. That work is always necessary, and it's always necessary to make art out of people's lives. And so I just try to put my money where my mouth is about my intention about being a writer.